Hey folks, this is Priyansh DevRel with OLake by DataZip, and in this tutorial, we'll see how you can replicate your MongoDB data to a local file system or AWS S3 bucket using the Parquet format. So the agenda of this video is straight up on your screen. We'll set up a MongoDB replica set, which will act as data source. Then we'll set up our config.json. Then we'll run discover command. Then we'll set up writer.json, which will have configs to dump data to either S3 or local. Then we'll run sync command, then we'll add a record, and then we'll show you how you can sync with state. What this means is if you have 25 records in your full sync and you add a new record, we won't be syncing the entire 26 records again, we'll be just syncing one record. So with that being said, you can head over to OLake docs for more information on MongoDB. We have some great documentation for you over here. Just head over to setup replica set and follow along with me. You can also go to OLake GitHub account or repository, go to drivers, go to MongoDB, and you will find a minimal readme over here as well. But this is more of if you want to build OLake locally in your system and then run the sync commands. So we have two things for you. Let me just show you what I mean by that. Either you can use dockerized version of OLake or you can use local build OLake. That's on you, but for this video we'll use the Docker version of OLake. You can head over to Docker Hub and just search OLake Go. You'll find these images: source MongoDB, source MySQL, source Postgres. So these are the respective Docker image of OLake for these sources. So with that being said, let's jump right into the code. So the most basic prerequisites, let me just open up my command.txt. I have written this to just save time with commands and all those stuff. So you just need to make a directory. It can be anything, just I have named it OLake test for now. So OLake test. The second thing that you will need is a config.json file, which will have the database level details. So things like the host, username, the password, auth, db, replica set, database names, a max thread. So I'm running currently at 50 max threads. You can just have 20 or even 1 depending upon your computer configurations or CPU configurations, how fast or efficient your CPU is. The default mode is CDC, and back of retry count is 2. So if you're not familiar with these terminologies, just head back to the docs, go to configs, and you'll see the field description, example values, and the data type associated with them. So I won't be spending much of the time explaining all these different values, but just one thing to note, that if this SRV is set true, then you can only be able to add one host. So suppose you have multiple hosts, then just turn where is SRV? Turn SRV off, and in hosts you can add multiple hosts in this fashion. Great. So because we'll be spinning up a Docker Compose file, I'll be using host.docker.internal and not localhost for that. But if you'll be building OLake locally, you might need to use localhost over there. So where to find that configurations, just again head over to set up the replica set under the MongoDB connector details, and if you use OLake dockerized version, you'll see the config saying use host.docker.internal. But if you are building OLake locally, you'll get the respective configurations for that. Great. So let me just go ahead and spin up our Docker Compose file. This one, it has an init key file, a primary MongoDB replica set, and a basic health check, then a data loader. So we'll be adding sample 27 records to our data, to our MongoDB instance, and then basic networks and volume stuff. So this is where the data gets imported. I'll just show you in a minute how it would look like. We go back, go to command, and this should be the command, because I am currently inside users, Priyansh TZ desktop projects OLake test, and this is docker compose.yaml, so I need to up it. Let me go back, and great. So it's currently putting some information. This should take around 10 to 15 seconds depending upon the network configurations that you have. If you're doing this for the first time, it will fetch some numbers, else it will just start your container in a couple of seconds. So our containers are getting ready, the primary, the sample data loader. So we'll wait for primary to finish it up. I'll just show you my Docker file. Yeah. So if you come and yeah, it's waiting for MongoDB admin users to be ready. It's now importing some files, importing some packages. And yeah, it's still green. That means this one is still green. That means the sample load has not yet happened. Great. Unpacking and yeah, 27 documents imported successfully. So great, now our MongoDB database is ready to be synced. So before that, I'll just show you, yeah, if you do a quick docker ps, you will see a container id, and if you do docker exec, yeah, just auto complete it for me. Great. So now we are inside this container. We exec interactively into it, and then let me just connect to my MongoDB instance. Great. So now I am inside show dbs. So yeah, Reddit database is created. So according to the docker compose file, just let me, yeah, downloading sample Reddit data. So we are using a sample data. If you are interested, just click on it and you will see the data that we'll be syncing. Just dummy data, nothing much or fancy over here. Great. With that being said, let me go and start the config process. So this is the position. You'll need to have absolute value of this config.json. So either you can go copy path. So this is how the path would look like: users branch tset config.json. That's the same thing that I have written. Let me go, yeah, discover command of docker run. So basically, if you would like to run or build OLake locally, you'll need this build.sh script, which you will find in the OLake repository. So just head over to our olake.io, GitHub OLake build.sh. Great. So you will find all the functions and methods over here to build locally. That's not the scope of this video, so I'll be skipping that for now. Great. So let me just run docker run. This would be the volume that should be mounted. This is OLake source MongoDB latest, the one that I just showed you, that's on Docker Hub, OLake source MongoDB. And we'll run the discover command to get the schemas, the table metadata, and all those things. We'll see how it looks like in a second. So then pass the config and the location of that config. So let me go back to my war terminal, docker run. Great. So the output that you see, the output that you see over here is actually the catalog.json file. So it is also getting created automatically over here. Let me just format it a bit. Great. So we have just one stream, that's Reddit, and it has the collection name will be funny, and this is the type schema. So we have a column name _id, it's a type of string. Allow line comments, it's a boolean. Author is a type of string. Author flare css class is currently set to null. This is an array, etc, etc. So if you would like to set up some partition regex, so just head over to our docs, go to destinations, AWS data partitioning. So this is the basic syntax of data partitioning. This video is not for partitioning. I'll make a separate video explaining in detail how partitioning works, and will link in the description to it. So just hang on for a while. We'll just keep partitioning regex as empty, or if you want some basic partition regex, you can just add your column name over here. Column name, the default value, and granularity. So if you go back, you'll see the descriptions, what all things are required, how things are supposed to work. This is required field, these two are optional fields. So that's the basic about regex. You can have, your data partitioned according to date, or according to maybe age value, or according to some values that that your data has unique, that you would like to sort, maybe date, hour, or even minutes. So with that being said, if you had maybe, let's say, multiple streams, like things like yeah, funny and funny, stream name is funny too. So because my database has just one collection named funny, you'll see just one over here. But if your database has multiple collections, tables, or streams, you'll see multiple, and then you can just go ahead and remove them from the selected stream, but they still will appear in the stream section. So if I go and if you just go over here and close this thing, you'll see other streams if they are available. Okay, so let me get rid of this for a second and remove the extra comma. So because we have already discovered the schema, we ran the discover command, it's time to sync the data. So to sync this data, there are three types of writers that OLake supports. One is writer local, which will just write Parquet files in your local system. Writer S3 test. So I have made a dummy JSON file because I do not want to show you the access key and access secret keys. This file contains the access keys and secret key that will dump the data to my S3 bucket. So this is a general configuration. To know more about these fields, normalization, on, off, or bucket region, access key, and things like that, just head out to the docs under S3 partitioning. Okay, not S3 partitioning. Let me just writer configuration. You'll see the type, the key, the description, the data type, and the probable values of those things. And the third type of writer that OLake supports is apache-iceberg. I'll be creating a video soon for how to dump your MongoDB data to iceberg, but here's a general or a quick overview. We support glue and JDBC catalog along with REST catalog support coming in a few days. So by the time you see this video, will actually have REST catalog and all the other catalogs that are supported by the Rust protocol. So back to the video. Now let's head over to my command.txt file. We were done with the sync command. Okay, we were done with the discover command, and now we'll run this sync command. So it's just similar to the discover command. We'll just replace discover with sync. We'll provide the catalog file location and the destination being writer local.json. So okay, let me just go back, copy it, and run from my terminal, hit enter. So great, total records, okay, just let me, total records read 27. That's great. And when you come back, you'll see a Reddit being the database name, funny being the collection, and if I open the Parquet file, .parquet extension, just wait for 1 minute, and you'll see the data being dumped. So as I informed you, we have 27 collections, and this is the data of those 27 collections. You'll see all the data getting dumped in the data field as a nested JSON or fully JSON file, because JSON data, because we turned off let me go back. The normalization was set to false. Now if I set this to true and then again sync the command, remember, not with the state, I'm not syncing this with state, but syncing with normalization turned on this time, and just hit enter. Great, total records read is 27 again, and we have multiple Parquet files being created, and now we have all awards, all live comments, approved, and many more fields, because OLake supports, as of recording this video, level 1 flattening. So the data that you got here, which was in a nested JSON format, is now being flattened. Great. Now let's sync this data to the S3 account or S3 bucket. So just let me pause this for a second. I need to log into my AWS account. Just okay, let me do this right in front of the screen and refresh it once time, because my session is still active. That's great. So I have created a S3 bucket by the name of OLake S3 test, and we'll write the data in here. Go back, writer test JSON. Normalization is turned false in this file as well. So just one tweak of a command and we will be good to go. So this won't be S3 local, it will be okay, it will be writer S3, and hit enter. And you can see we have 27 records uploaded to S3. Now I'll go back, I'll hit refresh, and you'll see two folders being created. So let's talk about the OLake writer test. So this folder gets automatically created, and it's just a txt file to see. Let me show you the contents of it. Query with s3 select and run the SQL query. So it says s3 write test successful. So we just create this file to make sure that you have the correct access to writing to s3, and the data, the Parquet data that's being dumped is inside this folder because I specified it under the s3 path. If I click this one, I'll see my database name, I'll see my collection name, and I'll see a single Parquet file. Okay, that's great. You won't be able to visualize this because OLake uses, let me show you why you won't be able to visualize this. Go back, S3 overview. Okay, not at overview, writer config. Yeah, because the generated Parquet files uses snappy compression, and snappy is no longer being supported by S3 select while performing the queries. So that's why even if you go here, object action, query with s3, run SQL command, you will see an error that it cannot be done. So don't fret, you have done nothing wrong. Your Parquet files are being created successfully, and they are correct and not like buggy. So this will be the exact content of those files as well. So there you go. Now for the last thing of the agenda that we have is we are done till the 5th step. Now we need to add a record and sync with state to see how you'll see a new file being added to it. So let me just go back real quick. Catalog writer local, turn this to false. Great. Now let me delete the normalized records real quick, and yeah, now I'll just go perform docker ps, and I'll see the container image being here, and yeah, thanks autocomplete when bash. So I'm executing into my MongoDB instance database, and command.txt file. Now that we are inside, I need to connect to the MongoDB CLI. So MongoDB admin password local 27017, enter. So yeah, I am successfully connected. Now I'll perform show DBs, and yeah, we have a Reddit database. Use Reddit. Great. Now show collections, it will show me funny data. So now I'll just show you the contents first, and then I'll add a record to it. So let's see all the content. So yeah, this is the nested JSON that you just saw in the data field in the Parquet file. Kind of it has 50 or 100 odd key value pairs. So now we'll add one sample record to it, and I already have one written with me over here. So db.funny.insert one, the title will be hello Mongo, and description is just a test record. So let me add a semicolon real quick, copy this command and hit enter. So yeah, acknowledge true, inserted ID, this. Now again, I'll go back and sync this data with the state. So what will happen is, okay, first of all, we also need to pass the state.json that gets created when we sync. So I'll show you the contents of state.json file. Let me reformat it. So this was the cursor data, or you can say a pointer till where we sync the data. So this is helpful if, let's say, if you have 25 records and a 26th record gets inserted. So if you sync with state, you won't have to resync every data. If the CDC is running in the background process using some orchestrator, it will just see that, okay, a new file has been added, I'll just have to sync that one. So you can set frequencies using a cron job or something like that in the future versions of OLake, but this is how it works as of now. So this is a pointer that will store the data that up till 25 records we have stored. Now 26th record is the one that we need to fetch, and only that. So with that being said, I'll just copy the command again. Docker run the same thing, the volume mounting, the same image that we are fetching for OLake, the sync command, config, catalog, destination, and state. Copying it, going to my terminal, enter. So what will happen here is, okay, total records read is 1 and not all the 26 or 27 odd records that we already synced. So now I'll go back and show you what I mean. So you'll see a new Parquet file getting created, and if I click over it, you'll see test record title hello MongoDB. It's the same record that we inserted just now using this command. So that's how CDC works. That's how if you add a different record and pass the state to it, you'll see that record being inserted. So the same thing happens if I do the state run OLake with state, but the writer is no longer local, but it's S3. So let me do S3 over here. Sync successful. Okay, just let me go back once and S3 test, refresh it, and data regex, read it, funny. Okay, there are some issues, so let's debug it real quick in front of you guys. So yeah, we did insert. Okay, and yes. So let's run this command one more time and then we'll debug what was the issue. Local s3 write.json. That all looks correct to me. Hit enter. Okay. Let me go back and check with the state.json. Reformat it. Okay, got it. So the issue here was because we synced first with the local, the state function or the state got updated and it's now pointing to the 26th record, the new record that we just entered. So let me add one more record, and then you will see it being added in our S3 as well. So hello MongoDB 2, just a test record 2. Great. Terminal. Okay, not terminal, going to my MongoDB instance. Yeah, acknowledge, true. And now we'll sync it to the S3 writer. Hit enter, and yeah, total records read is 1. Great. Now I'll go back, S3 test, data read it, funny, and you'll see 2 Parquet files being created. Great. So this is a new file because you can see by the size of the data of the Parquet file, but you won't be able to visualize it just yet on your bucket. So that was from me, Priyansh, and for more future videos, just subscribe to OLake YouTube channel. Okay, just let me search OLake over here. And yeah, the third one, this one, we also host community meetups almost bi-weekly. So for all those contents, just subscribe to us. There are a few videos right now, but there'll be a host of videos telling you how to use OLake, syncing from MongoDB to S3, MongoDB to iceberg, same I can say for MySQL to iceberg, Postgres to iceberg, and many more stuff. Also, we'll be adding documentation and videos on how to debug OLake or how to make your own Docker file of OLake, so you don't have to rely on the available Docker files, but you can just make some modifications and use your own image to run the sync commands or discover commands. So that's it for me. I'm Priyansh, signing off.